So this is a short video on Lab 3.10, Warm Up Creating Words. So this is an optional lab, and I wanted to show you some problem-solving skills and some Python skills by going through this lab. First, let's look and see what we're being asked. What we're being asked to do is to prompt the user to enter 2 words and a number, storing each into separate variables. Then output those 3 variables on a single line separated by a space. Okay, so we know we're going to have 3 different input statements. One that contains a string, the second that contains a string, and the third that contains a number. Now we can assume that the number is an integer. So we know that we're going to have to convert that particular input to an integer. So that's pretty easy. So let's do my favorite trick of copying these. So, they've already given us one. They've got favorite color. Let's see. Finish reading another word and integer into variables. So we're going to have someone's favorite color, the pet's name, and a number. So we're going to have pet name. And what are they going to want us to say? I'm going to put this stuff that I copied down here out of the way. And we're going to have, we'll do that in a second. So it's going to be input, quote, and it's going to be enter pet's name. So I don't have to retype it and potentially get it wrong. And then the, whoops, hold on. There we go. And what happened? What did I just do? Okay, let me do this again. I have a single open quote here, and I meant to end it with a single open quote there. Well, that's all fine and good until I get the single quote here. Now, that begs the question, how do I do an apostrophe S? This is one of those instances where you have to escape the single quote in a string. And the way to do that is to add the left facing slash. So now it acts as a complete string. So let me show you that again. Without the leftward facing slash, you get enter pets, and then Python thinks that just that is the string, and it doesn't know what this stuff is out here. When I put the leftward facing slash in, all of a sudden Python knows that all of this is the same string, and it's just supposed to print this out as a parenthesis. Okay, now I know here that I'm probably going to need a space, and I'm definitely going to need a new line. And then I'm going to have a number. I'm just going to call it number. And I know I'm going to have to convert it to an integer because it's going to be an integer. And it's going to say enter a number. And I'm going to say enter a number. I'm going to put a space in a new line. End it with a quote. And now I have my 3 input variables. And that's great. So, and I know my output values are going to be these because that's what zyBooks does. So I'm going to have yellow, daisy, and 6. Let me get rid of this extra stuff down here. And now we're going to run it. Now we know it's not going to be right, but we are going to run it just to make sure we don't have any errors. So let's see if I created any places with an error. Okay, I did, because I didn't bother to put an input statement in that. I just left it as the int. So let's put input here and our extra parenthesis out there, and we're going to run the program again. Great, I have no syntax errors. It's still not right, but I don't have any syntax errors. So now let's see what the rest of the problem says. Okay, it says then output those 3 variables on a single line separated by a space. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do print. So I have a string, a string, and an integer. And I'm going to print out favorite, color, pet name, and number. So let's see if I get the first part right. I did not. So what did I do wrong? Let's see. It should have been yellow daisy 6. Let me go back and double check. Input pet name. Well, I'm going to have to do a little bit debugging. So I'm going to get rid of these lines of code in a second. So let's see. Print favorite, color, print pet name. And what I'm doing here is I'm just double checking to make sure my inputs are correct. And I'm going to print number. I just want to see if they make it there. If not, I've done something wrong here. Maybe that copying shouldn't have been copied. Maybe I should have just typed them in. So that's not right. I have yellow, daisy, and 6. So I can get rid of these print statements because I don't need them. And I print %s, %s, %d, percent, favorite color, pet name, number. Okay. Let's see if I run it again. %s, %s, %d. Yellow. Okay, I need to debug this a bit. I'm just changing things around to see what I've done wrong. So print %s, %s, %d. Okay, well, I'm going to do this a different way then. I'm going to say did I spell that wrong? Favorite, color, pet name, number. So I don't know why zyBooks was giving me trouble with that print statement. So I've just changed it to a different kind of print statement. And I get the same thing. Wait a minute, what's going on all the way over here? Nothing. Yellow. Favorite color, pet name, number. Is it making it to that line? Sorry, I'm having a few moments and I'm going to pause this. So I have looked at what the issue is with line number 7, and I can't find a problem with line number 7. In fact, when I run this exact code through my PyCharm IDE environment, I get the right output, yellow, daisy, and 9. So I'm going to assume this is something weird with the zyBooks environment and keep going because the value of the variables is correct. So I'm going to go to now step 2 of this problem, and it says output 2 passwords using a combination of the user input. Format the passwords as shown. Okay, so we're going to have yellow, daisy, and 6 as our input, and the first password is going to be yellow _ daisy, and the second password is going to be 6 yellow 6. So that means that this is going to be favorite color _ pet, and then we're going to have the number with no underscore, spaces, or anything, the color, and then the number again. So here we're going to print first password, and the first password is going to be really favorite color plus underscore plus, what is it? It's the pet name. So it's going to be pet name. And it's print first password. And there's no new line or any spaces. Oh, I see what they want us to do. Let me do this again. No, that's right. Print first password. I'm going to say %s, percent password 1. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the first password it says is yellow, which is not correct. Password 1. Well, let's try it like this. I don't know why these are not printing out properly. So let's try this. We're just going to do this as a quote. And then we're going to say plus 1. Nope. So, I'm going to just finish this up in my Python by PyCharm environment because I don't know why zyBooks is acting funny on this problem. So let's see what happens when I run it here. My favorite color is yellow. My favorite pet's name is Daisy, and my number is 6. So this is underscore, should have been underscore, underscore. Now if I run it again, yellow, Daisy, 6, I get yellow underscore Daisy, except I didn't type it in right. So now I need to do the third part of the problem. And the third part of the problem, well, this should be an underscore. The third part of the problem is output the length of each, oh, sorry, I have to output the second password for this. So we're going to try this and see what happens. Password 2 equals, it's going to be stir number plus, what is it, favorite color, plus stir number. And then I should be able to print second password. Let's see, %s, percent password 2. I don't think this is going to output right because nothing else has, but okay, that was interesting. It really, zyBooks is just acting weird. So I'm going to put this in my PyCharm program. And I'm going to print out the second password. So I'm going to run this again. I'm going to enter yellow. I'm going to enter Daisy. And I'm going to enter 6. And we have yellow underscore Daisy and 6 yellow 6. So that code is in fact correct. And now I'm going to go to the third one that says output the lengths of each password, the number of characters in the string. So we have, from this chapter, we have several functions we can use on a string. And one of them is the length, the len, L-E-N. So I'm going to say, let's see, I'm going to copy this down. And I'm going to say print number of characters in yellow Daisy, space. I'm going to say %d, oops, d. And I'm going to then give it a formatted output of len and then password 1. And I'm going to do something similar here on the next line. And I'm going to say print the number of characters in Actually, this is going to be a %s in password 1, password 1. And this is going to be the second password, %s, %d, password 2, len of password 2. Now I don't expect these to be right in zyBooks because for some reason they aren't right, and I'm just trying to see if there's extra spaces, something going on here which could keep this from working properly. So let's try and run it again. Okay. Oh, EOF, how nice. All right, so I forgot. That error was because I forgot a closing parenthesis. I forgot this parenthesis, and that's why I got that error. Let's try running it again. And again, something is very wrong because it's not even finishing what's coming out of this. So let's do this. %n, %n /n, just to give ourselves new lines. But it's not even printing what's in the print statements. And I'm not sure why. So we'll take this information, just like we did in zyBooks, and we'll go over to PyCharm, and we'll add it to PyCharm, and we'll see what the right answer is and that the code is correct. So my favorite color is yellow. My pet's name is Daisy. My number is 6, and I get all the answers I'm expected to get. I get first password is yellow Daisy. Second password is 6yellow6. The number of characters in yellow Daisy is 12. The number of characters in 606 is 8. I think there is something wrong today with the PyCharm environment. If you experience with the zyBooks environment, if you experience anything like this with zyBooks, contact me immediately. We'll have to talk to IT, but this code is correct, as you can see from an independent Python IDE. But what these show you is how to do some very basic string manipulation, how to do the input and the output, and to also do some, to figure out how many characters you have in a word with the len function or in a string. So this has been the optional lab activity 3.10.1 warm up creating passwords.